about United?
I say this 1 year and a half ago, and I will continue to say, the problem is not the coaches. It's like, I'm always give this example, I will try right now to see if you're going well. It's like the Aquarius. If you have the fishing inside and he's sick and you take him out and you fix the problem, and if you put it again in Aquarius, they will be sick again. And this is the problem of Manchester United, is the same. The problem is not only the coach, it's much more than that.
And do you think that is still the case at Old Trafford?
100%. If I will be the owner of the club, I will make the things clear and adjust what I think it's bad.
You see, I'm now joining the dots. Is that the plan? Have you spoken to the Glazers?
I'm still very young. I have so many plans and dreams ahead. But mark my words, I will be owner of a big club, for sure.
Cristiano Ronaldo was right about Manchester United, but nobody believed him. When the Portuguese legend spoke, most people rolled their eyes. Some said he was bitter, others said he couldn't accept that his time at the top was over. But now, 2 years later, everything he warned about has unfolded exactly as he said. Ronaldo has insisted time and time again that the problems at Manchester United run much deeper than any coach, player, or tactical system. And in 2025, as the club experiences one of the worst stretches in its modern history, his words feel more prophetic than ever. 1 year ago, in an interview during the Globe Soccer Awards in Dubai, Cristiano made it clear the Premier League is the most difficult league in the world. Every team fights, every player is strong, there are no easy matches anymore. But then he said what many United fans have been thinking for years: Ruben Amorim is not the problem, the real problem is above him. And that's the truth. While the media loves to attack managers from Mourinho to Amorim, Cristiano pointed the finger where it truly belongs: the Glazer family.
The owners of the club, they don't...
The Glazers.
The Glazers, they don't care about...
A decade of poor management, chaotic recruitment, and lack of sporting vision has slowly eroded the foundations of the biggest club in England. It's no coincidence that Wayne Rooney said recently,
"What is going on at Man United? This is not Man United. I don't recognise the whole football club. I don't see players fighting, I don't see character, I don't see desire to win, I don't see ability, I don't see match winners. I go into a game watching, expecting, okay, here we go again."
Or that Rio Ferdinand admitted,
I would say I'm still probably surprised at how long it's taken to see some sort of difference and change in performance and results, really. Given that he's been there a little while now, I expected more with his resume that he came with. Forget what I think for a minute. I think he's saying we're going to have short-term pain by doing it this way, but in the long term we'll gain more and we'll be better for it.
Even Gary Neville, once accused of being too soft on the owners, finally said,
"Is the money the club has generated or that it's borrowed? It does not come from the family." So let's get this out of our heads, that the Glazer family are putting money in every year, like Roman Abramovich did, like the Saudi Arabians are doing at Newcastle, like Sheikh Mansour's done at Manchester City. They're hand in the pocket, spending on players. They've not done that. They've borrowed, and they've used the revenue that the club generates through its incredible fan base and a great commercial operation. That's what's happened. So anybody that owns that club, if us four own that club tomorrow, we could spend the same money every year on that football club through its generation of revenues. That's a fact. These owners, since Sir Alex Ferguson, have proven in 10 years they cannot manage a forward-thinking football club. It's been overtaken in every single department, and it's painful.
And Roy Keane.
But what is a realistic expectation for Man United this season? What's realistic?
Just try and get to the top five.
To stay up.
Cristiano's frustration was never about himself. It was about what United had become, a club that once terrified Europe, now settling for mediocrity. He wasn't attacking the badge, he was defending it. He scored 145 goals across 2 spells, won a Champions League, 3 Premier Leagues, an FA Cup, 2 League Cups, 2 Community Shields, and a Club World Cup. His words come from experience, not ego.
Because you think he might smash it there. He smashed it into the back of the net. It gets even better for Cristiano Ronaldo. A shot of superlatives.
So maybe the question isn't whether Ronaldo was right. Maybe the real question is why it took the world so long to listen. Because as we'll see in this video, everything the Portuguese icon warned about, the poor ownership, the lack of ambition, the decay of standards, all of it has proven true. But under new management, with Ineos and Ruben Amorim, Manchester United is finally trying to fix what Cristiano saw years ago.
You know, you can't run a club like Manchester United on knee-jerk reactions to some journalist who goes off on one. He needs to demonstrate that he's a great coach, over 3.
And that's why today, more than ever, it's time to admit it. Cristiano Ronaldo was right about Manchester United. Before we can understand Cristiano Ronaldo's message, we need to understand why he's speaking from a career that has redefined what excellence in football means. Cristiano's story is one of relentless ambition, from a skinny kid leaving his home in Madeira to join Sporting Lisbon's academy at just 12 years old. To becoming the most recognised athlete on the planet. He made his professional debut at 16, and within months, his dribbling, speed and confidence were drawing attention from all over Europe. But it was Sir Alex Ferguson who saw beyond the stepovers. After a pre-season friendly against Sporting in 2003, United's players begged Ferguson to sign him. Days later, the 18-year-old was wearing the legendary number 7 shirt, the same one once worn by Best, Cantona and Beckham. Ronaldo's debut was electric. George Best himself called it the most exciting debut I've ever seen, but brilliance takes time. He frustrated as much as he amazed, his raw talent still unrefined until Ferguson's discipline and patience turned him into a monster. By 2007, he had evolved from flashy winger to ruthless finisher. That season he scored 42 goals, winning the Premier League, the Champions League and his first Ballon d'Or.
I started to shake the hand of the players coincidentally. No, just God knows why. I told it in Portuguese to Ronaldo. I said, Cristiano Ronaldo, the next time I'm gonna give it to you. And then Cristiano Ronaldo.
He became the heartbeat of a United team that dominated English football alongside Wayne Rooney, Carlos Tevez and Rio Ferdinand. In his first spell at Old Trafford, Ronaldo scored 145 goals and 64 assists, winning 3 Premier Leagues, 2 League Cups, 1 FA Cup, 2 Community Shields, a Champions League and a Club World Cup. Individually, he collected the Ballon d'Or, the Golden Boot and the FIFA World Player of the Year. He wasn't just a star, he was the standard. In 2009, he fulfilled his childhood dream, Real Madrid. 80,000 fans filled the Santiago Bernabeu to welcome him. Over the next 9 years, he scored a jaw-dropping 450 goals in 438 games. Winning 4 Champions Leagues, 2 La Ligas and 15 major trophies, becoming Madrid's all-time top scorer. He carried Portugal to their first ever European Championship in 2016 and the Nations League twice in 2019 and 2025, cementing his legacy as a global icon. After Madrid, he conquered Italy with Juventus, winning 5 trophies and becoming Serie A's top scorer with 29 goals in 2021. Then, in 2021, football's greatest homecoming happened. Cristiano returned to Manchester United. At first, it was magic again. He scored 27 goals in 54 matches, reached 800 career goals, and delivered unforgettable nights. A hat-trick against Tottenham.
Ronaldo likes the look of this.
Last-minute winners against Atalanta and Villarreal. But behind the goals, something was broken. When Erik ten Hag arrived, Ronaldo no longer fit the system. The Dutch manager preferred pressing, mobility and youth, everything that didn't match a 37-year-old Cristiano.
Is Cristiano Ronaldo going to be a third-choice striker for you going forward now?
I wouldn't bring him in because we are 4-0 down out of respect for Cristiano, for his big career.
He was benched, criticised and humiliated. Tensions grew. Ronaldo wanted to leave to play Champions League football, but United blocked his exit. Then came the interview, the moment that changed everything. He called out the club's owners directly. The Glazers don't care about football, they care about marketing. He said the club had made no progress since Sir Alex retired, and that he didn't respect a manager who didn't respect him. Days later, Manchester United terminated his contract. Just like that, the fairy tale ended. But his words didn't fade. They echoed louder each year as United kept collapsing. Cristiano wasn't bitter, he was right. He didn't destroy Manchester United. He exposed what was already broken. Before judging Cristiano Ronaldo's words, we need to listen to them. Because what he said about Manchester United wasn't a rant, it was a diagnosis, a warning that most people ignored, until it became impossible to deny. In this part of the story, we're going to uncover 5 declarations from Cristiano that expose exactly why Manchester United is drowning in crisis. The first reveals how the club's owners see United not as a team, but as a brand, a money machine completely disconnected from football. The second dives into how the culture of the club collapsed, how the standards that once defined the greatest institution in England have completely disappeared. The third uncovers the way Manchester United now treats its legends, the very players who built its history, and how respect inside Old Trafford has become negotiable. The fourth exposes how the young players and new stars of today no longer feel the hunger and responsibility that comes with wearing the Manchester United badge. And the fifth shows Cristiano's view on Ruben Amorim, the man now tasked with rebuilding a fallen giant, and why Ronaldo believes he might finally be the key to the club's redemption. Each of these statements isn't just an opinion, they're clues, pieces of a puzzle that explain how Manchester United went from the top of Europe to a shadow of itself. And when you hear them in order, you'll understand something crystal clear. Cristiano Ronaldo wasn't bitter, he was right all along.
The owners of the club, they don't.
The Glazers.
The Glazers, they don't care about the club. I mean, professional sport. As you know, Manchester is a marketing club. They will get his money from the marketing. The sports, they don't really care, in my opinion.
You ever talk to them, the Glazers?
Never.
Never?
Never.
Not since you've gone back?
No. They give all the power to the president, the sport directive.
A lot of Manchester United fans are very negative about the Glazers. They think they're taking all the money out and not spending enough. Players on the infrastructure issues you talked about. Do you think the fans are right?
The fans, they're always right. I think the fans should know the truth, should know that the players, we want the best for the club. I want the best of the club. This is why I'm coming to Manchester United. This is why I love this club. But you have some things inside the club which don't help to Manchester reach the top level, as City, Liverpool, and even now Arsenal, for example, which is complicated. It's difficult. It's hard. In my opinion, it will be hard for Manchester to be in the top of the game the next 2-3 years.
For almost 2 decades, Manchester United, once the pride of English football, has lived under the shadow of the Glazer family. And if there's a word that sums up their ownership, it's debt. Since their leveraged takeover in 2005, the Glazers have turned one of the world's most successful football clubs into a financial machine, drowning in over £500 million of debt. Fans warned it back then, they protested, they shouted, they fought, but their voices were ignored. What began as fear turned into fury, stickers, banners and chants that still echo today. Love United, hate Glazer. For years, Old Trafford, the theatre of dreams, has been falling apart. Leaks in the roof, outdated facilities, and an atmosphere of frustration. Yet the family that owns it, nowhere to be seen. In Tampa Bay, they show up for their NFL team, rebuild stadiums, shake hands with fans. But in Manchester, they remain ghosts, collecting dividends while the club decays. Under their management, United have spent over £1 billion on interest payments, fees and personal rewards for the Glazers. No other Premier League owner has extracted so much money from a club while investing so little in its footballing soul. When Sir Alex Ferguson retired in 2013, everything collapsed. David Moyes arrived as the chosen one, and Ed Woodward, a banker, not a football man, took control of the club's operations. Together they led United into an era of chaos. From that moment, every transfer window became a disaster. Ronaldo and Tevez left, replaced by Antonio Valencia, Obertan, Diouf, and an ageing Michael Owen. That was the moment the standards began to fall. United spent over €2 billion since Ferguson's farewell, 203 signings, 10 managers and no clear plan. Only Paris Saint-Germain and Manchester City have spent more, yet their trophy cabinets look nothing alike. Meanwhile, across town, City built an empire. Liverpool modernised, Arsenal evolved, and Manchester United, it stood still, sinking deeper into the quicksand of bad management and empty promises. Cristiano Ronaldo saw it coming. He lived the glory, he felt the decline, and he warned everyone, the problem's not the coach, the problem's the club. And now, with Ineos and Sir Jim Ratcliffe partially in control since December 2023, things are finally starting to shift. The club is spending smarter, the signings make sense. Players like Benjamin Šeško, Brian Mbeumo, Matheus Cunha and Senne Lammens are proof that the sporting project finally has a plan. But make no mistake, this is only the beginning of a long road to redemption. The Glazers are still there, still pulling strings in the background. And after everything we've seen, it's impossible to deny it anymore. Cristiano Ronaldo was right, the real villains of Manchester wear suits, not boots.
What I wish for Manchester, it's what I wish for me. The best, they can make again the best team they can. And I love that club. You know, I'm not that kind of guy that forgot the past. Manchester, they need to rebuild everything, in my opinion. The coach, they say they cannot compete to win the league and Champions League. You cannot say, if you are a Manchester United coach, you cannot say that you're not going to fight to win the league or Champions League. You have to be mentally say, listen, maybe we don't have that potential, but I cannot say that.
We're going to try.
You're going to try. You have to try. But
maybe that was when we was there. That was the culture. Maybe the culture is different now. They had to have a reset because the standards have gone down. The expectations have to come down. Maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe this is why I say. But this club needs time to rebuild because it's still one of the best clubs in the world. But they need to change, and they understand that.
Manchester United's biggest problem isn't just tactics or money; it's culture. Over the years, the club went from being obsessed with winning to becoming comfortable with failure. Finishing second, something that once hurt, started to be celebrated.
But I did my best. I told in some interview, and I was killed by that, that the second position was one of my biggest achievements.
That's how low the standards have dropped. And when the owners don't care, every project that follows arrives with weak foundations. Managers come in talking about glory, but leave with excuses. From Solskjaer's nostalgic appointment, to Mourinho's constant talk about the past, to Ten Hag's ego wars with Ronaldo and Sancho, the story has been the same. Chaos, division, and mediocrity. That cultural collapse shows in the club's transfer decisions. Manchester United stopped signing elite players who could raise the level and started collecting names that looked good on paper but never fit the plan. Alexis Sanchez came as a superstar and left as a disappointment. Radamel Falcao arrived as El Tigre, one of the world's deadliest strikers, and ended up invisible. Angel Di Maria, hero of Madrid's Champions League, never settled. Bastian Schweinsteiger, a World Cup winner, was ignored. Memphis Depay, full of flair and promise, lost his spark. Even Victor Valdés, once part of Guardiola's legendary Barca, barely played. And then there were others, Fellaini, Juan Mata, Ander Herrera, good players in smaller teams, but never the kind of elite signings that used to define United. The question became painful. Why did all the top players go to City, Liverpool, or Chelsea, and not to us? It's because the standards dropped, the badge stopped being a test of hunger, and the club stopped demanding it. Young players joined without feeling the weight of history. Some lost the desire to fight for the shirt. When mediocrity becomes normal, greatness becomes impossible. Fixing this goes far beyond money. It's about rebuilding the values that made Manchester United feared and respected. It's about demanding effort, pride, and responsibility again. Every new signing must understand what it means to play for this club. Every manager must stop chasing headlines and start building culture. And every director must remember, this isn't a business. It's football. It's identity. It's Manchester United. Because that's the real battle now. Until the losing culture is erased, no amount of spending or new faces will save the club. And that's why Ronaldo's words, the fans' anger, and Ineos's promise of change matter so much. It's not just about bringing United back to winning. It's about bringing United back to being United.
I was very, 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 very disappointing for the communicator of Manchester United, to be honest. I never had a problem with any club, with any coach, and they suspend me 3 days, which is I felt a lot, and it was a shame.
Was it humiliating for you?
I think so, yes. I have to say the truth, what I felt. I don't want to say details, what they pretend to do it, but I'm not going to say that. But I remember arriving home and Cristiano see me, Daddy, you not go to the game? I said, no, because the club punished me with 3 days, and he did like, okay, I regret, I apologize, I'm not perfect, I commit a mistake, but suspending 3 days for that, I think it's too much, and they make fire for the press, which is really disappointing me.
There isn't much left to explain that hasn't already been said. Manchester United's dressing room has been broken for years. Under Van Gaal, Mourinho, Moyes and Ten Hag, the same story kept repeating itself. Divided players, lost authority, and zero connection to the badge. The culture that once made the club untouchable simply vanished. In Sir Alex Ferguson's era, stepping into the dressing room meant discipline, respect, and purpose. Every player, from the youngest academy graduate to the biggest star, understood what it meant to represent Manchester United. That pride, that fear of letting the shirt down, was the secret weapon. But once that leadership disappeared, so did the identity. Under Moyes, confusion. Under Van Gaal, frustration. Under Mourinho, ego clashes and open wars. Under Ten Hag, silence and isolation. The club stopped being a family and became a group of strangers wearing the same shirt. Legends who once defined the DNA of United were ignored, and their voices, which once echoed through the halls of Carrington, faded into the background. The badge stopped meaning something sacred. It became just a logo. Players came for the salary, not the legacy. Some didn't even understand the weight of walking out at Old Trafford, of what it meant to play where Best, Cantona, Cristiano and Giggs once stood. And that's what hurts the most. Manchester United didn't just lose games, it lost itself. The spirit that made the club great, that sense of belonging, of duty, of unity, shattered piece by piece. What remains now is a shadow of what once was, a reminder that no tactics or transfers can fix a team that's forgotten who it is. Rebuilding the dressing room isn't about signing stars, it's about restoring identity, respect, and the culture that once made Manchester United the standard of world football.
I don't like to mention names, but not many in the same way. I remember when I was 18 in Manchester United. You know me very well, I don't lie. I see the best examples. I see Gary Neville, your example, Giggsy, Roy Keane.
Since the generation of Rooney, Giggs, Cristiano, Van Persie, Ferdinand and Carrick, no one has truly carried the weight of Manchester United. No one. Those players didn't just wear the shirt, they lived it. They felt the pressure, the history, the expectation, and they thrived under it. Today, that fire feels gone. Marcus Rashford came close. He had the heart, the story, the connection, but distractions, inconsistency, and clashes with Amorim pushed him 2 steps back.
Any team that's been successful over a period of time, they have principles that any coach that comes in, any player that comes in has to align to these principles or be able to add to these principles. Whereas like at times I feel like United have just been, we're hungry to win, so we'll always try, to adapt and to sign players that fit this system. But like, it's reactionary. If your direction's always changing, you can't expect to be able to win the league.
Others who arrived with that same promise simply collapsed under the weight. Anthony, all flair and no focus. Harry Maguire, crushed by the armband. Luke Shaw, flashes of brilliance buried under injuries. Onana, nerves instead of confidence. Each season the names change, but the story stays the same. Players who talk about the badge but don't bleed for it. The mentality Cristiano spoke of, that obsession to win, to suffer for the team, it's gone missing. And perhaps the most painful part is this: there's no one left inside the club who makes the others say, that's our standard, that's our leader. No one like Rooney, Cristiano, Giggs, Ferdinand, Vidic or Van der Sar, men whose presence demanded respect and whose example lifted everyone around them. This shirt is heavy, too heavy for most. And until someone inside that dressing room steps up and becomes that figure again, Manchester United will keep walking in the shadow of what it used to be. And the numbers don't lie. The mistakes that once defined this team are disappearing, the players improving, and while the goals still aren't coming as they should, there's real progress. Against Arsenal, Chelsea and Sunderland, you could finally see the vision taking shape, and it's exciting. Second, the long-term backing from INEOS matters. For the first time in a decade, United are breaking the curse of constant managerial recycling. Amorim's mission is to rebuild a winning culture, and slowly, it's working. Third, he's raising the standards again. It doesn't matter who you are or what you've done. If you don't train and live like a Manchester United player, you're out. Amorim has made tough calls. Højlund, Rashford, Anthony, Onana, no one is untouchable. He's forcing professionalism back into the DNA of this team, restoring the discipline and hunger that defined United's golden years.
If you are not working, if you are a lazy guy in training, he's not like it.
He'll kill you.
Yeah, he will kill you. For him, the training is really important too, because you play in the game like you train, So the most important thing is to be really good in training.
And that's good for your mindset as a team, and that's the culture you're trying to build within everybody's 100% every day.
Every day, yeah.
Fourth, the transfers make sense, finally. Amorim understood what United lacked: goals. He spent £230 million on proven Premier League talent with Sesko, Mbeumo and Cunha, and strengthened the in-defence with De Ligt, Euro, Shaw and a reliable goalkeeper in Lamens. For the first time in years, the squad feels balanced, logical and competitive. And though the midfield still needs work, his use of Mount and Diallo has brought structure and intelligence to the build-up. Fifth, he gets it. Amorim knows what it means to manage Manchester United. He's not here to chase excuses or rebuild reputations. He's here to win the Premier League. Step by step, he's building towards that. In the end, Cristiano was right. The storm isn't over, but the clouds are finally breaking. The problems were never just about managers or players, but a toxic snowball that grew over time. And while the past left deep scars, Amorim is healing them. For the first time in years, there's a plan, a purpose, and a path forward. As the Portuguese coach himself said, good days are coming. And maybe, just maybe, Manchester United is finally starting to believe again.